ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, and honorable guests. My name is Rhonda Whitaker. I'll be Sergeant at Arms tonight. And I would like to ask Rahul, our president is not here. Who should we ask to come up and introduce the meeting?
Past president.
Past president's on the agenda.
Oh,
He's already on the agenda for it.
I'm sorry.
Read
Hello.
the agenda.
Yes, sir. I'd like to have you warmly welcome our ex-president, Satish Sabapati.
Good evening, and I'd like to welcome you all once again. The mission of every Toastmaster club is to provide a mutually supportive and a positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. We are all in the right place. Now we have a guest here. Would you like to give your name and introduce yourself and tell us what brought you here today?
Right there.
Right from where you are.
You don't walk front.
Yeah, my name's Larry, nicknamed Liberty Bell, last name. I'm from Davenport, down here visiting, doing work down here. So, group of us down at Iowa Jurist Society, we're in the Constitution and helping people, because we know there's something wrong with the government. And it's not under the Constitution, so we're helping people, so do that. So, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. We're happy to have you here. And we have a returning member and guest.
My name is Upendra Sharma. I'm happy to be here. And presently I am in the Riverside Toastmaster Club in Coralville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. With no further ado, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our Toastmaster Art and Dan Craig.
Yeah. Go get it, Dan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, viewers at home. Tonight, the theme of our meeting is Power of Mind. Just remember, you can do anything you set your mind to, but it takes action, perseverance, and facing your fears. With that in mind, we're going to move the meeting right along. First, we're going to begin with reports from our role players. And our timer, Ryan Olson, will now explain his role.
Yeah, Ryan.
No,
Okay, a quick review. The table topics are 1 to 2 minute speeches. The green light is turned on at 1 minute. The yellow light is turned on at 1:30 seconds. And the red light is turned on at 2 minutes and remains on until the end of the speech. Prepared speakers are usually 5 to 7 minutes. The icebreaker is 4 to 6 minutes. I think we have any of those today. And some advanced level speeches are longer. So then the green light is turned on at 5 minutes, and the yellow light is turned on at 6 minutes. The red light is turned on at 7 and remains on until the end of the speech. And evaluations are 3 minutes, so the green light is turned on at 2, the yellow light is turned on at 2.5, and the red light is turned on at 3 and remains on until the end of the evaluation. All speakers and evaluators have a 30-second grace period after the red light is turned on, and table topic speakers need to speak for at least 1 minute to qualify for the votes.
Our odd counter tonight is Vera Rhodes. Vera, please explain your role.
Yeah, Vera.
I will be taking notes of all the filler words, you know, false starts, clicks, tongue clicks, ands, buts, and so forth. And I'll report back at the end of the meeting.
Yep.
Your Marion is Karen Aoki. Please give us the word of the day and your role.
For Marion, I will be keeping track of creative uses of English language and improper use of English language. Also, the word of the day is my responsibility, and I've selected insouciance. Everyone can say insouciance?
Insouciance.
Okay, so make note that this C is an S sound because it comes from the French language. And it means carefreeness or lightheartedness, which I think is an important quality to have when we're talking about the mind as a powerful tool. And it means that there's really nothing that can bother you. For example, my sentence is, Tom's insouciance, as expressed by his full belly laugh, helps to alleviate tension and anxiety in the speakers. I will also make note of uses of this word, and I'll report back at the end of the meeting.
We're going to hear later from our Toastmaster, Diane Dimbaum. We'll also be hearing from Satish Sabapathy, who will be our general evaluator. And tonight our ballot leader counter is Cindy Trainer.
Yay!
Without further ado, it's time for table topics.
Yeah, Gene.
So I'd like to invite up Gene, Simon, and Craig.
Yo!
The mind is a powerful thing, and it needs to be worked out. I have developed a new workout for tonight for our table topics. Table topics is an opportunity to practice extemporaneous speaking. It means your brain has to work with your mouth, and you get practice, and this will help you in later life when you're in those spots. We're going to have, Mr. Toastmaster, are we having extra table topics today because the agenda ends at 9 and we need to fill
I think we
time?
can go to 8:15, so we've got
Okay.
20, we can do 20 minutes.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do for our table topics evaluation, Art's going to do 6. If we go over 6, I'm going to ask for a volunteer for someone else to be another evaluator. We're going to rock and roll like that.
Heck yeah.
All right, so who would like to go first who does not have a role? And, you know, I'm kind of looking over, I'm not seeing a lot of hands here. You know, okay, you have your needs, I know, come on up. This is Seth Braun. Yes. All right, so this is what we're going to do.
Miss Jean Simonton Craig.
We're playing alphabet soup. Now in this little bag, there is a little piece of paper for every letter in the alphabet. I'd like you to pull a slip.
Okay, got that.
Give me,
Pull the slip.
yes, and
Yes.
you don't need to repeat everything. That's for someone keeping track of those as well. All right. That's all right. And think of a noun that starts with that letter. Then your assignment is to tell us why you have picked that noun and how it will benefit us to hear you talk about it.
Pick this.
So what?
Come up with a noun. How it benefits
Pick-
the audience.
Right, noun, why you picked it, and how does it benefit us.
Got it. So you can repeat it, but you don't want me to repeat what you said.
No, I'm just
Just-
trying to
just-
help you out, Seth.
Just being.
Yeah, I'm just trying to clarify.
Well,
You're the
see,
first one, you're the first
I
one.
understand.
Everyone understands? Okay.
But I'm a coach professionally, and it's hard for me to stop repeating what people say. It's like you say something, I repeat it back. You know, it's just it's a habit.
All right, okay, it's good, it's good. We're multi-ethnic in here, whatever.
Great. Sethnic. Sethnic. So that's Sethnic heritage.
Okay, well, stick your little paw in there.
Okay.
Now,
On with
you're
the show.
seeing, I'm mixing it up quite nicely. All right. Every single letter is represented in here. Nothing has been left out.
I
Okay.
have to tell you what it is.
Yes.
Should I show you or just say it out loud?
Just say which one you
I
picked.
picked O.
Thank you.
Now I have to pick a noun based on.
Timer, once, the next words out of his mouth is when you start timing. Next up.
New members, don't worry.
Fellow Toastmasters, guests, viewers at home. Possum. Possum. Letter O, a noun starting with a letter O. Possum. It's a rather insouciant attitude that I bring to table topics. Enough about possums. I'm not going to be able to compete in the state competition. I've made a decision not to go and represent our clubs and win at this particular round because I have a paid speaking engagement on the next day in the Vancouver area. And there are no flights. There are no flights past 5:30 out of Des Moines or before 6:30 in the morning that can get me to where I need to be with the rental car to where I need to be to speak. Not to mention, like, sanity. So I've had to cancel. It was very, very painful, but I had to look at my bottom line and say a paid speech is more important to me than competing. And this speaks to a larger trend in my business where I've really got to focus on my bottom line. You know, I like to dabble in a lot of things. I like to be interested in a lot of things. But there comes a point in business where it's like looking at the goals for my kids. How much money do I need to make to send them to a private school? Ballet classes, music lessons, where you have to choose, I'm going to do the thing that makes money, and I'm not going to do this other thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So one of those choices that I'm doing to support earning time is I have a little journal right there. You're going to see me with this little journal, and I'm writing down everything I do down to 15-minute chunks. Just to see how am I using my time, because I still waste time. Even though I coach people and I speak on productivity and success, I still waste a lot of time, especially online with Facebook and videos and such. So if I was a possum, I might lay down and play dead, but instead I'm going to track my time so I can be more productive and earn more for my family. Gene.
That was very good to hear from Seth, particularly because he's our state District 19 representative. However, I'm now going to change the rules. And as Toastmaster or Table Topics Master, I can do that. So Seth is grandfathered in, and he's fine as he is. However, in this exercise, in order to get the proper workout, there will be no segueing. You must face the bullet and deal with it. That's the only way you get better, right? Okay. Okay. Mr. Jesus Rios.
Yeah, Jesus. Bite the bullet, baby.
Yes.
Follow orders.
Yes.
Okay. So you remember the assignment, what it is?
Yes. R. Thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters, honored guests, and viewers at home, especially Darlene's friends. R. Possum. Or should I say pass on? I came here with enthusiasm, yes, of my fellow Toastmaster. It's nice to hear you speak and see you with the freedom that you give yourself, just being playful, but at the same time inform us, and in my case motivate me, because when I see you up here and say you're not going to the competition because you have a paid engagement, how sweet that is. And perhaps some of us here, some of us watching at home would like to be able to do that. get paid for speaking. When I joined Toastmasters, that was my goal. And today I was informed that my certification for finishing my 10 speeches is going to be on the way. It's already being processed, and it's an awesome feeling to know, and I actually feeling the good feelings, then I know that my efforts, even though it's not much of an effort because I enjoy coming and it's fun, I will actually have a piece of paper that will say that I've been through this schooling, and that can translate to more dollars, to more money, because with that will allow me to get to a places that it will put me ahead of the game versus somebody that has no acquired the ability to speak and the confidence to speak as I have been able to acquire here in Toastmasters. And I'd like to thank a lot of the persons here that have in one way or another inspired me. And that's why I would say pass on. Thank you very much.
Noun that starts with the letter, why you picked it, how do we benefit from hearing you talk about it?
Makes you laugh.
Okay, honestly, so, it's all good. You know, I'm still waiting to sort of see a good solid bat hit the ball here. Rahul. Okay, Rahul. This is not for the faint of heart. This is good, you know, neuronal activity here. All right.
H.
H.
H. H.
Good evening, friends. My job has been made easier with the alphabet that I picked. H. Pronounced correctly? Yes. Honesty is a noun, I believe. So now I'm picking honesty. Why I picked honesty is the second question that I need to answer. Honesty is the best virtue or the policy, best policy in the world. Some great person said. That's my reason. Now, how would honesty benefit all of us here? Well, there are a lot of ways. I like to pertain and stick only to our Toastmasters guidelines and the manuals. You know, one thing that happened to me when I joined Toastmaster, I had same dream, same aspiration as Seth has and he's doing, as Jesus had. I wanted to be good at public speaking and maybe someday be paid for my speaking. But I was not honest with my manuals. So, honesty is what I'm giving and leaving you with. If you honestly follow your manuals, do your speeches in time, get them evaluated properly, and submit them to your VP of Ed, it will benefit you. That's one big benefit. Follow your CL manual. There are a lot of tasks. Do them sincerely, get them evaluated by someone, and make sure that you get it signed off. If not by VP of Ed, some other member over here in the club. That's my reason for choosing honesty and keeping it down very simple to our club principles. At this point of time, I'd like to head back and hand it over to Madam Table Topics Master.
Okay, very good. Can be done. All right, so we have more letters in here. You're just rolling.
23 more.
Cindy, are you volunteering? Cindy's on the move.
Gotta lock the door.
Okay, well Cindy, you know, you're already part of the club, you know, you might as well. Come on up, all right. Oh, yeah, and that is, actually, it's not interesting.
You don't know which it is?
No, I think it is that.
It is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Hey.
You could do that.
Yeah. Fellow Toastmasters, honored and distinguished guests, viewers at home. The letter this hand pulled out is the letter Z. Since I am a lover of science, I'm going to pick zoology. But what am I going to say about zoology? Well, people are part of the equation. We are mammals.
Why did you pick it?
And why did I pick it? No, just like the study of science in general. It doesn't. Astrology, zoology,
Numerology.
insectology, you know, whatever. Actually, the reason why I picked zoology, it was the only thing that came to mind. Have you ever tried to ride a zebra?
No.
Me neither. What was it, the Swiss Family Robinson? They had a zebra. Zebra is part of the menagerie in the movie. And somebody wrote that. Now I'm thinking, how the heck did they get all these various animals on a tropical island? Do you think zebras are native to a tropical island? I only thought they lived in Africa. But going back to zoology, that's a real head scratcher, or chin scratcher as the case may be. I'm saved by the light. That is my very narrow, limited dissertation on the letter Z. Madam Table Topics Master.
Good. Good, thank you. So you can just feel the sweat coming off of the neurons from that kind of workout.
Oh, yes.
You know, you can just see it happening. Don't you feel pumped in your brain a little bit just from trying to like make that all work? Yes.
Weak in the knees,
yes,
too.
I can see it. Tom wants a little
TNT.
shot. All right.
Dynamite.
Okay, so just for those who came in just a little bit, we're picking a piece of paper. There's a letter on there. You pick a noun that starts with that letter. Why did you pick that word, that noun, and why are we going to benefit? And I guess you have to pick it for you, not me.
Yes. I will close my eyes even.
All right, all right.
Oops. Don't want to.
Okay. So you tell them. Okay.
Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, honored distinguished guests and at home. The letter I got is E. And E stands for every one. All of us. The inclusiveness of everyone. We come here to expand our noticing of ourselves and everyone else. All of these little jobs we're doing here expand your ability. Karen's word of insouciance, which she used my name so I could laugh. And then I laughed some more. And then I laughed again. Now I have been told that I laughed way too much.
Boo!
I laugh at the wrong time, I laugh at the wrong place, and I definitely piss people off.
Yay!
Exactly. But everyone can be like that. Because, you know, if you just don't care what people think, then you have freedom. Freedom is, I really don't care. besides that for me, I have no control. I got in a big argument with a lady once at a Toastmaster. This is a statewide Toastmaster event. And she is adamant that I am laughing way too much. So she's arguing so much with me that she is bending my ear all the way into the men's room. And when I bellied up to the urinal, she's still running her mouth. Finally, she realized where she was and what was going on, and I didn't care what she thought or anything. And at that moment, she finally shut up and left. Now, when you don't care, you just do what you do. But you can do that, because it's the freedom that every one of us has. It's innate to our nature. It's innate to who we are. So, just laugh a bit. And if they lock you up, we'll come and get you. That'll take a lot of expense.
It looks like we've got the signal. I've got the heading signal from the Toastmaster. Mr. Timer, did everyone qualify?
Yes, everyone qualified. I think we'll grandfather Jesus into. He was a little loose with your requirements, but he did meet the time.
Right. You're just focused on the time, and it looks like.
So everyone met the time.
Could you repeat the names then, just so you can help us with that?
Yeah, would you like the times?
No, not the times, just the names.
So Seth, Jesus, Rahul, Cindy, and Tom.
All right. Could you please vote? I'd like to invite the insouciant Art Atkinson to evaluate our table topics. Yay, Art.
Insouci, without care. Good evening, Toastmasters. My name is Art Atkinson. I'm on a speed and time trial tonight, doing 5 in 3. Seth took time to think. He greeted the audience. He immediately segued, which was ruled out of order after he'd done it. He had excellent, powerful hand gestures. He had strong one-on-one delivery and eye contact with individual members of the audience. He attempted to circle back and bring Possum in at the end, but he missed what I thought was the obvious benefit issue, which was to talk about Possum playing dead, being in denial that there's something important to deal with. That one just didn't come out. I was expecting it any minute, and it just didn't come out. Didn't address a benefit to us. Jesus greeted. He just began speaking immediately. He referred to Seth's talk. He had great one-on-one delivery and eye contact to members of the audience. I never actually heard what the R word was. So the rule was broken. After being explicitly told that Rahul thought, he greeted, he gave a brilliant talk. Not only did he cover what his word was, he covered why he'd chosen it, he covered what the benefit was to us. He had gestures, he had one-on-one eye contact and delivery to individual members. I just say hooray, and I have not yet thought of anything that could be improved, except possibly to have said, and honesty has benefits that extend beyond this room. Cindy chose Z, and the suggestion I would have for you, Cindy, she's gone. Tom chose everyone. He greeted. He didn't give us a reason why he chose it or the benefit to us, but he did entertain us with it. He was rooted in one place right here for the entire delivery. He didn't move, and he missed what I thought was the opportunity to talk about the fact that everyone benefits from the curriculum here. Everyone I thought was going to generate that kind of a talk. Instead, we got an excellent delivery of a great personal story that I think we will all remember.
Can you do Cindy? Just do Cindy so we...
And has Cindy returned?
No, we don't need
Cindy? No,
just do it anyway.
Just do it.
You'll take.
Cindy, my suggestion would be pick another word. She stuck herself onto zoology. there are actually directions she could have gone with that I would love to tell her one-on-one when she returns. With that, Mr. Toastmaster.
Well, that was certainly an insouciant experience. Coming and going, I'd say. Now, phase 2, prepared speeches, in which we hear evaluators introduce speakers and then evaluate them afterwards. Our first evaluator is Rahul Vats, who will read the objectives for Catherine Kins.
Good evening, friends, honored and distinguished guests, Toastmasters and viewers at home. My name is Rahul Vats and I'm here to read objectives and introduce our next speaker, Catherine Kins. Catherine Kins chose to give the speech on project number 3, Get to the Point. She decided to skip project number 2, which you can do. You can do any project in any order. The objective for Catherine from the manuals are: select a speech topic and determine its general and specific purpose. Organize the speech in a manner that best achieves those purposes. Ensure the beginning, body, and conclusion reinforces the purposes. Project sincerity and conviction and control any nervousness you may feel. Strive not to use notes. Her time would be for 5 to 7 minutes. Now, I really like Catherine for her enthusiasm, the lightheartedness that she brings to the stage when she speaks or when she performs or when she gives a talk. In her introduction, this is what she wrote for me. It's my pleasure to introduce Catherine Kins, who is presenting project number 3, Get to the Point. In her words, Catherine has lived a large life in her young years and will share some of her recent adventures with us this evening in hopes that she will inspire us to take direct action towards the accomplishment of our shared goal, mastering our public skills. With that, please warmly welcome Catherine Kins.
Can you just help me move this back slightly, please? Good evening, Toastmaster, honored guest, viewers at home, fellow Toastmasters. I have something really important that I want to share with you tonight. I feel like we haven't talked in so long. There's so much to catch up on. But before I get to that, I've had a really fascinating week. I just found out that I'm going on a trip out of town, that I've been waiting to find out if I'm going on this trip or not. But before I tell you the details about that, I want to let you know that I went to the hospital twice this week. Both times very unexpected. 2 different hospitals. But before I tell you about that, there's something else. Like I said, there's so much to catch up on. I saw a movie this week that I've been waiting to see for years. I read the book about it and I was so excited to see it. You should go. But before I tell you all about that, there's something else I have to share. There was a funny noise with my car this week. Now, I love my car. Okay, it's beautiful. It's a TL, which I learned by purchasing this car stands for total luxury, okay? How exciting is that? It's my ride around the world, you guys. I got out of the car, I looked around. I didn't see anything. I checked the tires. Nothing there. Looked under the hood. Oh, couldn't find anything. I found 2 plants to plant in my garden this week. I love gardening. Anybody in here like gardening? Me too. I find it really healing from the spirit. Beautiful plants. Can't wait to see them blossom. Some of my favorite plants, I might add. I want to share with you that you might think I'm taking an insouciant perspective on this speech tonight. But really, the most important thing is to get to the point. And I purposely wanted my audience members to feel what it felt like when a speaker doesn't get to the point. I left you hanging on a good 3-4 topics, right? What happened? What kind of plants did I buy? Where am I going on my trip? What happened in my car? Why did I go to the hospital twice this week? I mean, come on! I did that on purpose, so that you could feel what that felt like, so that none of you ever leave your audience hanging. So let me fill you in. Why did I go to the hospital, you might ask? Well, the first time was pretty exciting. It was a new experience for me. Exciting to go to the hospital, you might think? Yeah, it really was. Because one of my best girlfriends said that she had a little secret that she hadn't shared with anybody yet. She found out she was pregnant. And I got to see for the first time live what an ultrasound looked like.
Killing brain cells?
A little tiny cashew she was carrying around. A little tiny life in there. So cool. The second time I went to the hospital, unbeknownst to me, was a planned for event. My dad had a checkup at the VA. Now, I visited the VA before for not so pleasant circumstances, but this was a simple checkup and a great excuse to get out of town for a minute. So, lo and behold, that was a smooth ride too. While we were up in Iowa City, I had a chance to go to Menards and visit the flower department, where I purchased 2 rose bushes, which I planted in my garden, hoping to bloom. The other trip that happened, in part, was a trip that I have been waiting for quite some time. One of my best girlfriends from high school is engaged, and I'm in her wedding in Key West in the fall. Talk about a fun destination wedding! Her bridal shower, however, is in my hometown, upstate New York. So I have an opportunity to go home, visit my mom, all of my friends from high school. People are flying in from different states. I'm excited. I hope this speech has inspired you to get to the point. And don't leave your audience hanging with questions in their mind about where that was going and what avenue that was going to take, of direction of the topic that you're looking to focus on. Get right to the point. Thank you.
Let's take 2 minutes to evaluate the speaker. And now for our second speaker, who will be Rhonda Whitaker. I'm going to ask Diane Dimbaum to come and read her objectives.
Yo!
Thank you, everyone. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, viewers at home. It's my honor to introduce Rhonda Whitaker. She's going to be working on project number 6, Vocal Variety. Vocal Variety. The objectives of this speech are to use voice volume, pitch, rate, and quality to reflect and add meaning and interest to her message. She's to use pauses to enhance her message and use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. I'll tell you a little bit about Rhonda before I bring her up. Here's her introduction. When Rhonda took the Sergeant at Arms leadership role, Tom and Will both told her There was leadership training taking place January 26, 2013 in Cedar Rapids, and she needed to be there. After TMI training, she was invited to attend the Crossroads Storytellers Club for a potluck dinner and hear their stand-up comedy night. The grandkids live in Cedar Rapids, and the time was right for a visit. Long story short, Rhonda, along with her 17-year-old twin granddaughters and the boyfriend of one of the girls, thoroughly enjoyed the comedy, cheesecakes, and generous hospitality showered on them as guests. The club minutes secretary wrote down their names, her club, Rhonda's club number, and email address. About a month later, listen up if you're thinking about becoming an officer, Mike Anderson, an area governor, forwarded an email calling for speakers. This was for the 2013 Listen to Your Mother production in Cedar Rapids. Rhonda's speech was accepted, making her one of 16 people in the production cast. The show was last Sunday. All this came from simply becoming Sergeant at Arms. Who would have known? So I'd like to introduce the wonderful Rhonda, vocal variety number 6. Listen to your mother.
Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, did anyone here visit their mother last weekend? Did someone have a good Mother's Day weekend even though they couldn't see their mother? Wonderful, lots of hands. This story is about my mother and how I came to terms with emotions and thoughts about my mother was brought about by making this speech. So it's been a therapeutic experience. So I'd like to tell you about my mother now. Blood is thicker than water. This too shall pass. Listen to your mother is painful. Mom was a 16-year-old girl with post-traumatic stress disorder, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and obsessive compulsive disorder. Those weren't discovered yet, but I knew they existed. As a child, I just wanted her to love me. I listened to her. She loved me as best she could. Has anyone been raised by a model mother? All right, yes, there's the hands. A mother, a woman of compassion, a woman with an immaculate heart. A mother who never slapped a child's face or knocked heads together. Perhaps a mother who could gently hold tender cheeks and say, I love you. Or hold your shoulder and say, I'm proud of you. Or perhaps even boldly stand up and say, I've got your back. I imagine the most happy, loving, supportive mom I can. And how much I would have enjoyed her. When I look at Mom today, I see mistakes, broken dreams, and disappointments in her eyes. She kept dark secrets, which time told. Her father didn't love her mother. He married her because he had to. When she was 8, she spent 3 months in a dark room confined to bed in order to save her eyesight after playing with firecrackers. At 10, her baby brother was born, and she was sent away for an entire year. At 14, she was assaulted. At 15, she met my father and fell in love. They lied to her parents and told her parents they had to get married. At 20, she miscarried the long-awaited son. At 40, she divorced and never remarried. Never. Blood is thicker than water. This too shall pass. Listen to your mother. The first thing I apparently ignored and lived to tell about was Mom saying, "Stay in your high chair." I was less than a year old. She walked out of the room. I stood up and fell out head first onto the floor. My head hit a talcum powder can that was laying on its side on the floor, so it broke my fall. But I still had a fractured skull and neck injuries. "We both cried," she told me. I learned this when I was 33, and I asked her where I got this big dent in my head. She turned away from me and said, "You never listened. You never did anything I told you to do. Listen to your mother." Mom is quite sensitive. Upon becoming pregnant at 16, she thought she was dying. She thought she was dying. So they rushed her to the hospital. She had full body x-rays, which included me in her womb. And I survived. When I was 1 year old, it looked like my parents might not make it as a married couple. My father was stationed about 1,000 miles away, and Mom was 16, lonely and discouraged. She almost gave me up for adoption to a great aunt. She almost gave me away. This was a shocking secret told to me. When I was 19, pregnant and unwed. For a long time I thought my mother was wrong. About so much. Just wrong. Blood is thicker than water. This too shall pass. Listen to your mother. Learning about the family tree from generation to generation. Exposed nasty thoughts, confusing emotions, and unforgivable actions. I moved away from home as soon as I was able to. And I did not return except for short visits. That's 30 years ago. In old age, Mom has early Alzheimer's and paranoid dementia. I pity her condition. In writing this story, I realized my mother suffered terribly as a child, and I could forgive her everything. The traumas and wounds that my mother suffered were something that I was supposed to carry on. A scarred child of a broken tyrant. My identity is woven through a fractured skull. Blood is thicker than water. This too shall pass. Listen to your mother. She's doing the best she can. Mr. Toastmaster? Yeah.
Please take 2 minutes to evaluate the speaker. Now let me introduce Satish Sabapathy, who will be our general evaluator.
Question vote.
Sorry. Let's vote for the best speaker. Mr. Timer, did they all qualify? Did they both qualify?
Well, Rhonda's speech was 6:48.
She asked
That's
for
fine.
7 to 9.
That's okay?
Yeah, she asked for 7 to 9.
Yeah, you can have 30 seconds
Oh,
less.
Okay, yes, everyone qualified.
So please vote for Rhonda or Catherine. Now for the evaluation section of the meeting, our general evaluator, Satish Sabapathy.
Hello everyone. So as a general evaluator, my job is to bring up the evaluators to evaluate the 2 speeches we had today. So in that order, I would like to first bring up Rahul Vats to evaluate Catherine Kent's speech.
Yeah.
Rahul Vats.
evening, friends. I'm here to evaluate Catherine Kent, and to do that, I would like to point out to the two tools that I have at my disposal. One of them is the manual, which has this chart, which you can fill points on, and another is this small leaflet that we get. And I'm going to tell you my views on all those things. First of all, Catherine, I believe you're a great speaker. You have a lovely presence over here. You grab attention of the audience. And this is what I noticed in your introduction. Your introduction was spellbinding. I was like looking for what you have to offer. There were a lot of things that you said. It grabbed my attention. But one thing that it didn't brought very clearly to me was what was your objective. Your title was Oh Yeah. And I didn't feel that coming anywhere into your speech. But nonetheless, your introduction was great, very solid. So good job. Your body, you had a good body, a lot of stories, a lot of exciting things to share to your audience. Everybody was listening very attentively. They wanted to hear what you have to say about your hospital visits, about your car, about your rose plants. So that was great. Now, I'll go on to the manual and just read few objectives and see how you did on that. The general purpose of the speech, for me it was clear, and you mentioned it. You said what would happen if you don't get to the point. You mentioned what a speaker should not do and leave audience with in between hanging without making your point clear. So that was good. Your general purpose was clear, but I feel your specific purpose should have been a little more clear. I felt you wanted to catch up with us, which is what you said in the beginning, but there was a lot to catch on. Maybe you could have skipped some details there, and you could have chosen 3 stories and given more information about that. Something that I would like to suggest to you. What could the speaker have done differently to make the speech more effective? As I said, you could have chosen 3 points, given a little more detail so that people would have been more interested in, and that could have made your specific purpose more clear. And you could have added your title in between your speech so that I could have related your talk with your title. But overall, I liked your sincerity, I liked your insouciance, your carefreeness, your lightheartedness that you bring, and I like your presence, your calmness. Great job, keep speaking, keep sharing. With that,
Thank you, Rahul, for that evaluation. Now, I would like to bring up Diane to evaluate Rhonda Whittaker. Diane Gamble.
Good evening again. I'm going to start by asking you, in listening to Rhonda's speech, did her words, or her voice and words, reflect the message and the thoughts that she was presenting to you? Were you moved?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, thank you. They all raised their hands. That's really the gift of that speech, to me. One thing I want to say too is that one of the recommendations is to begin your speech with a good breath. It was actually in the manual, and Rhonda did just that. I noticed that. There's a checklist in this manual as well, and I'm going to go through it very quickly. Your topic selection, I thought, did facilitate the vocal variety. The volume, I put good in between satisfactory and excellent. You definitely captured me and your topic with your voice, but here and there I saw some signs of loudness, and I would have liked to have heard a few more here and there. But I also saw improvement in that for you, Rhonda. Rate was good. Maybe at times there could have been some speed, but it was good. They talk about the quality, and I feel that the quality of the speech, they talk about pleasant and friendly. For you, you just match the energy of this mom talk to me. Definitely expressive, definitely organized to me. Word usage, vivid, descriptive, accurate, that was the highest mark there. And your body language, there were tons of gestures. Here's my main thing, that when you came out at the end, I forget what you said, to be quite honest, but when you came out, that was the moment for me, because the whole speech, I felt it was one of those speeches that either, if you need your notes, bring this up, but get right there with this, with us. You know, I was with you and you were back there. I just think you could just be right here with us, because when you came out, that's what I felt. That's my biggest suggestion. And I guess somewhere in there, I would have liked to have known, I got the blood is thicker than water, and I got the this too shall pass. I'm just not sure what it is about your mom that you wanted to listen to. I don't even know if that's a big deal, and I really admire the repeating that message throughout the speech. That's a very effective tool. I wasn't sure, and the forgiveness I understood, so just for some suggestion for clarity, for me, would have been, what is it about, what is it that you wanted to listen to with your mom? Great question in the beginning. It was really a moving speech. Ah, my goodness. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Now it's time to vote for the best evaluator. That includes our table topics evaluator, Art. Mr. Timer, did all the three evaluators qualify?
Yes, they did.
And they are Art, Rahul, and Diane. Please take time to. Welcome back. Now it's time to listen to get our reports from our role players, and we'll start with the timer. Mr. Ryan Olson, your report, please.
Yes. So our first section, the table topics. Seth Braun, speech was 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Jesus timed in at 2:09. Rahul Vats spoke for 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Cindy Traynor spoke for 1 minute and 59 seconds. And Tom Traynor was 2 minutes and 9 seconds. For our speeches, Catherine Kens was at exactly 6 minutes. Rhonda Whitaker was at 6 minutes and 48 seconds. The table topics evaluator, Art, spoke for 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Rahul Vats spoke for 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And Diane Denbaum was also 3 minutes and 14 seconds.
Thank you, Ryan. 1 minute report from our counter, Vera Rhodes.
Yeah, Vera.
Everyone did very well this evening. Rhonda had one false start, and only mention ones that made minor mistakes. Ryan had one false start. Jean had a couple ahs and ums, but she may have filled them in intentionally, and she also had one false start.
Ha!
Seth had a repeat. Rahul had one repeat, one ah. Ryan had 2 ahs. And Diane had one repeat. Satish one repeat. Very good, everybody.
Thank you, Vera. Now it's time for a 2 minute report from our grammarian, Karen Aoki.
That's fine. Excellent use of the word insouciance. I think that was the most I've ever heard of use of the word of the day. So we have Seth, Jesus, Tom, Jean, Dan, Rahul, twice, Catherine. They all used this word correctly, and they took the lighter meaning of it. It can also have a negative connotation, but it was excellent. I'm going to now look at clever or creative uses of the English language. Starting with Jean, I liked when the phrase, the brain is powerful and needs to be worked out. It gave a really nice image. Cindy, was a memorable moment when you said, I'm saved by the light. You could identify with that one. Tom, there was an incorrect use. He said something to the effect of, through Toastmasters, we expand our noticing of everyone. So I would just maybe suggest awareness of everyone. I don't think noticing is the proper word there. And Catherine, I felt, did a great job with speaking in a conversational manner, which is one of the categories in the grammarian's chart. So one example of that was, I'm going out of, let's see, my car is a TL, which stands for total luxury. She just had these catchphrases that were very modern and trendy and conversational. Rhonda did an excellent job with being brief and to the point with these memorable statements such as, blood is thicker than water, this too shall pass, she almost gave me away, and then she had a phrase, a scarred child of a broken tyrant. They were just small phrases that had so much meaning and conveyed so much about what she was sharing. And that's enough.
Thank you, Karen, for that comprehensive report. Now it's time to listen to a joke. And our joke master is Dan Denball.
The theme is power of the mind. And I found my sister-in-law sent me these clever anagrams, and I really admire the mind of the person that thought these up. I wrote them down. I thought it would be more effective to actually see. I hope you can see. So,
I want to hold it for you.
And now, an anagram, everyone knows, I juggle the...
Oh.
Okay, so an anagram is that they took a word and then moved it around to make another word. So astronomer, moon stare. The Morse code, here comes dots. Dormitory, dirty room. The eyes, they see. Snooze alarm, alas, no more Z's. Election results, lies, let's recount. There's another sheet. Slot machines, cash lost in me. George Bush, he bugs Gore. Desperation, a rope ends it. And the grand finale, the earthquakes, that queer shake.
Thank you again for that great joke and list of nice words. Now it's my turn as a general evaluator to evaluate the whole meeting as such, and then in specific the three evaluators. I have a checklist here and I'll go by that. It's great. We started on time and we're quite on track. Where the guests welcomed, I think the presiding officer did a good job at welcoming the guests. Toastmaster, did he introduce the theme of the day? Yes, he did. Congratulations. Table Topics Master, did the Table Topic Master introduce the topics? Yes, it was very well done. And we saw the power of mind in our table topics master accomplishing what she wanted as a table topic master. And there we had the next big power of mind, Seth, coming up with his point. I can repeat as a trainer. So that was great. I mean, those moments, I saw the powers of two great minds. Great. And then again, one thing of important mention is the way she asked all of us to pronounce the word. That was a great thing. I thought because this is not a very common word. So I learned a word and you made us pronounce it. Thank you. And now moving on to the evaluation part. First, our table topics evaluator, Art. He had to evaluate 5 different speeches. He did a great job, and he started giving positive points for each of the speaker, and also the negatives when they didn't keep to the protocol, what the Toastmasters specifically had requested to do. So that was nice. I mean, we did that perfect for the speakers to develop on how to keep to the point even when the Toastmaster insisted not to segue. And the way you recognized the first part of the table topics section where the first speaker did all right, correct? You recognized that and also gave suggestions, which is perfect. And I also thought it was a great time management when you didn't want to talk about Cindy when she wasn't in the hall. Though again, our power of mind insisted to give. You watched the time and made it clear. I can give it one-on-one to her, which also I greatly appreciated. And going to our next speech evaluator, Rahul Vats. He greeted the audience when he first came up to introduce and set the stage for the speaker, read the objectives, and gave a nice introduction. And just to mention about your speech, mistakenly he uttered the word performance. And I did think it was a performance. A mime, I thought I was watching a mime, but with the live commentary. Great, that was a very nice speech. And I liked the way Rahul explained what tools he used to evaluate. So he said he had the evaluation sheet and went by the manual. And as a suggestion for you, I thought you could have, there were a lot of positive points I saw. You did give a lot of suggestions and you did mention about the positives. But I thought in the balance, the suggestions sounded bigger. Especially when you said, oh yeah, I did not hear. When you mentioned that, I would have expected it to be a little more clear what you didn't hear, like, oh yeah, this moment. And Diane Denbaum did an excellent job. First got the audience approval, and then gave your suggestions. That's again great. And to mention about your speech, more than seeing you talking about your mother, I saw your motherhood there. So thank you for that great speech and evaluation. Now it's time to turn the meeting over back to our Toastmaster, Dan Craig.
Thank you, Satish. Now it's time for awards. So a drum roll, please. Best table topics, Rahul Vats.
Yo!
And another drum roll, please. Best evaluator, Rahul Vats. Another drum roll, please. Best speaker, Rhonda. we've got a ribbon for Catherine for project number 3.
Yo!
Now let me turn the meeting back to our ex-president, Satish Sabapathy, to close the meeting.
A great meeting. And now it's time to hear from our guest. Would you like to share your experience today at the meeting today? What did you think about the whole meeting? How it moved? What did you get from our meeting today?
Yes, the word quite a few times as mentioned. It's nice for the group to do that. Everyone speaks clearly and precisely. I know I myself need to enunciate my words, but good heart experiences on several speakers. So I wish commend everybody and doing a job well done tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Get this ribbon for being here the first time. And now we'd like to hear from our old member and guest. Now you've been in another club. Would you like to share your experience there and how compare it to us or
Most of
what?
the time I don't speak sincerely, but tonight I will speak very sincerely from the bottom of my heart. It is amazing, it's totally amazing when I see the amount of growth which is taking place in the leaders. I have seen them 2 years before and I see them there now. They're speaking better than the politicians. I'm not saying that liars or anything, but totally. The speeches were moving, everything you read from the manual is done. I totally enjoyed Catherine's speech, and I cannot use any word when I listen to Rhonda's speech. It was totally a very good experience, and I think any place, I have been to many colleges, the learning which takes place in the Toastmaster here is uncomparable in my life to any other place. So I'm very glad that I came here and I enjoyed the growth and the good speeches.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma, and we'd like to have you any number of times to get such validations from you. Thank you. Does anybody want to make any announcements? Do you have anything, Dan?
I did get your feedback from asking you last week to step up and take a position, so I've got names. We still need someone, otherwise we'll come looking for you for a president. We seem to have every other office at least volunteered for and some assistants. And I also need people who are not officers now and who've been in the club for maybe a year or two to help me to create a nominating committee. That's what I really need right now, tonight, here and now. So.
You're saying non-officers?
Yeah, right, Tom?
No, officers. You want prior officers.
Oh, prior officers.
Yeah, people who've been an officer before.
Oh, even the people that were just officers?
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
They can help.
Okay. Okay, so, Art. Okay, just see me after the meeting then. Yeah, Art, great. Oh, okay, I didn't realize, I didn't think I could take. Okay.
Yeah.
So there'll be me, Art, and maybe 2 others. So please see me. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dan.
And I wanted to let you know that Vera wanted to speak to us after the close of the meeting for just a couple minutes to tell us what she's been going through.
Okay.
But after the close.
We'll get time for you to do that. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Rahul, you have
Just speeches. Nobody is scheduled to speak for the upcoming week, so please do send me your dates whenever you want to speak.
Or I will book them all. I will take all the speakers. So you better beat me to them. Even I'll Skype myself in from Seattle the next 2 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you again, once again. Thank you all for being here. Look forward for another great meeting the following week.
And pick up.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you all.